Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. Erev Tov, everyone. It's great to be here all together and celebrating the Hilula of the Meir Baal HaNess. It's not often that we do this, but it worked out beautifully, knowing that it's Thursday night, and which we normally do have shiurim here, but it's great to come out and celebrate for good occasions. And of course, may the Chutz of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess, protect all of us, protect all Klal Yisrael. I want to first say thank you to the friends and members of our community who have stepped up to make this possible in no specific order. My uncle Jimmy Kadosh, Yair Hilula, Victor Arobas, Leon El Malech, Avi Azuelos for helping set up, Elia Zanijar for helping set up, and everybody that got everyone, I think. Thank you very much. Hashem should bless you and your family for many, many great things, again, for helping us out and making this very possible. You know, there's so much to say about Rabbi Meir, and I'm not going to keep you long. But I just, found a few pieces of information that it's nothing like eye-opening and oh my God, I never knew that. It's just simple things about who he was and his life, and things that maybe we can walk away from. Of course, Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess was a great sage in the time of the Mishnayot, the Tanaim. He was one of the students of Rabbi Akiva. After Rabbi Akiva lost his 24,000, which we are in the middle of mourning now, Rabbi Meir was one of the new 5 students that he handpicked to continue the Torah and the legacy of the Torah. He lived in Eretz Yisrael, and he was known for his incredible knowledge of Torah and many miraculous deeds. Of course, one of the more famous stories that we know about Rabbi Meir is the tale of his ability to bring back lost objects to their rightful owners. And according to Gemara, Rabbi Meir possessed a special skill, which a lot of us know about, that allowed him to find things that were missing through his prayers. And the Gemara relates once that Rabbi Meir was walking along the road when he saw a man crying. And when he asked the man why he was crying, he replied that he lost something that was very important. He lost money. Rabbi Meir prayed for that man, and miraculously he found what was lost to him. And from there we have the custom, many of us, that if we lose something that is important to us, we're not talking about you lose something like a pencil or something that's important to us, and you really feel it, you really want it, you give tzedakah in the name of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess, and you say Elakad Meir Aneni, the whole special tefillah. You can also say some few words, but Elakad Meir Aneni, and people will swear by it. Yeah, you find your object that you're missing it. But besides that, it really teaches us an important lesson about the concept of emunah and prayer. Like Rabbi Meir, we also can turn towards the tefillah when we need HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to trust in Hashem to help us find the solutions that we need in our lives. Prayer has that power to connect to the Almighty and bring us closer to Him. And also teach us the importance of kindness and compassion. This one little episode, when Rabbi Meir saw the man crying, he didn't ignore him and walk away. You see a person who's dejected clearly by his countenance on his face. What do? Just ignore him? Okay, I'm not going to talk to him because he seems like in a bad mood. Or do you approach him out of compassion? What's wrong with you? What's hurting you? What is difficult for you at this time? And he used the abilities that he had to help the person in need. And we can learn from those examples of Rabbi Meir to strive to be kind and compassionate towards those that require assistance. And of course, let's not forget his ability to see the good in every single person. Even those that were considered sinners, even those who were considered outcasts in society. The Gemara tells us that Rabbi Meir was a prime student of Elisha ben Abuya, who unfortunately, not to discuss now, we've spoken about in previous shiurim, became a heretic. He went off the path. He stopped believing in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and despite his heretical beliefs, Rabbi Meir clung to him. He knew the wisdom that he had, and he didn't want to let go of him. Up till his last moment, he told him, like, do teshuvah, you can really, really change. And he continued to respect and learn from him. So we have to be able to see and look beyond a person's flaws and faults, recognizing their inherent worth that they have as human beings. Each person is created, B'Tselem Elokim, has the potential to do great things in life. And it's our job to recognize that and appreciate the potential in everyone. It always reminds me of the story in Masechet Berachot in the 4th Perek. It's a long story over there on how Rabban Gamliel was removed from the position of the Nasi. And after going through different candidates, Rabbi Yoshua, Rabbi Akiva, the rabbis settled on Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. That's a famous story where he went to go ask his wife whether or not she thinks he should take the job. And she said that, listen, I think they're going to throw you out just like they threw out Rabban Gamliel. He said, listen, one day in this job, I have that on my resume. It counts for something. He said, oh, you look too young. You're too young. You're only 18 years old. And a miracle, they grew 18 white hairs on his beard to give the appearance of old age, so that he would be more respected. But one of the great parts of that story is what happens after he was appointed. The Gemara tells us that on that day, the first point of action that Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah did, the Gemara says, is that he removed the shomer from the door of the Bet Midrash. That there was a security guard, but not for the purpose of security. It was a security guard to stop students coming in. And that was put there by Rabban Gamliel. Why did he put there? Because Rabban Gamliel had a rule. Kol she'eno tocho kebaro. Anyone who's outside, who's inside, is not like they're outside. Meaning, outside they display this type of personality. They're gentle, they're kind, they're friendly. But inside, they don't feel the same way. They're not genuine. They weren't allowed to enter the Bet Midrash. That was the rule of Rabban Gamliel. Some people might think that's a good idea. I want people that are genuine in my Bet Midrash. I don't want fakers. I want people that are legitimate. But Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says, no, you got to look beyond that. You got to give a chance for everybody. And the moment he stepped into office, he removed that security guard, and the Gemara tells us, Machloket, whether they added either 400 or 700 benches to the Bet Midrash. Now, bench has seats for 4-6 people. That's thousands of new students that enter the Bet Midrash. Rabban Gamliel felt depressed, and maybe he held back all the potential from these people. So Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah did this. It reminds me of this idea. You're looking at what, not just at the flaws. Chas v'shalom, we never look at the flaws. We look at what every person has and the value that they have inside. Okay, even if they're not tocho kebaro, even if they're, if they do have some flaws in their personality, doesn't matter. We got to look beyond that. Rabbi Meir HaNess, of course, it's Hilula tonight on Yudalid Be'Iyar, which is also known as Pesach Sheni. Pesach Sheni is, of course, a minor Jewish holiday. It's big enough that we don't say Tachanun. It's a minor Jewish holiday that falls on Yudalid Be'Iyar. It's 1 month after the holiday of Pesach, and it's based on what happened in the Torah, where there are some people that weren't able to bring the Korban Pesach because either they were tememet, they were impure from an impurity from a deceased person, or they were too far, they were too distant to come to Yerushalayim. So they got a second chance. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded that if they couldn't make it the first time on Erev Pesach to bring their Korban Pesach, then they can come on Pesach Sheni one month later. So I saw something interesting, that besides for the obvious connection that Rabbi Meir HaNess, his Hilula is on Pesach Sheni, he actually has what to do with Pesach Sheni. He had a very big influence, because he was one of the rabbis that helped restore the observance of this holiday after it fallen into disuse. A lot of people felt that, okay, maybe this wasn't so important. Okay, especially after the destruction of Bet HaMikdash, maybe we have to stop thinking about this or commemorating this. He was a person who worked to revive the holiday and restore the observance. Because to him, he understood the importance of giving people second chances for those who missed the opportunity to fulfill their role in the service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and of course the Korban Pesach. So he saw the holiday as an opportunity for teshuvah, as an opportunity for repentance and drawing closer to Hashem. And therefore, by promoting the observance of Pesach Sheni, he helped to ensure that those people that missed the original Korban Pesach at least were able to participate in some way of the Pesach offering, and maybe that's why he was zocheh to pass away on this day of Pesach Sheni Yudalid Be'Iyar. What's interesting that a lot of people may know or not is that Rabbi Meir, although being highly respected, and of course we celebrate his life and his teachings, but many, many times his opinions or his legal opinions in the Mishnayot are not followed. The halacha is mostly not like Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess. So whenever you see Rabbi Meir versus Rabbi Yehuda Bar Ilai, the halacha is usually like Rabbi Yehuda. That's generally the way it goes. Now, not to take anything away from Rabbi Meir Baal HaNess. So the rabbis explain why exactly this was the case. First, because Rabbi Meir was known for such exceptional wisdom and brilliance, and in the ways that he was able to interpret the Torah and the dinim that were passed on, really from Moshe Rabbeinu, in developing new laws and new concepts, that this often involved very innovative and new, novel approaches to how to approach the law. And as a result, although they were highly valued, the people weren't on the level of Rabbi Meir to understand really where he was coming from. And therefore, they couldn't agree that he was the halakha, although they probably knew he was right, but they couldn't comprehend where he was coming from. It's almost like we compare lehavdil, not lehavdil, but like, sometimes we have a law written in Shulchan Aruch. Right? The Shulchan Aruch tells us to do something. And you might read somewhere else, but Lefi Kabbalah, we do something like that. We do this. The Mekubalim do this. Now, you have to understand, the halakha is like what's written in Shulchan Aruch. The fact that there were Mekubalim that did otherwise, it's because they had a deeper understanding of what really was involved in that mitzvah, and they had their own reasons why to do it that way. But as for the general public, we have to follow the Shulchan Aruch. Same idea. That's how I would compare this to. Another reason is that Rabbi Meir and his legal rulings sometimes weren't always clear or consistent. It was very vague in the way he related the halakha, and sometimes that made it difficult for his followers and his students or later scholars to understand the teachings that in a more practical way. And being part of the Sanhedrin, of course, the Torah tells us that acharei rabim le'atot, we always have to follow the majority of the opinions, and Rabbi Meir was a member of the Sanhedrin, and his ideas did often fall in the minority of the opinion, and were not accepted by majority of the scholars. But despite all these, challenges, his teachings are very much respected. Of course, his ideas continue to be studied, and tonight you have thousands of people by the Kever Rabbi Meir praying for their Yeshuot and Nechamot, his innovative approaches of Torah, and Mishnah and all the statements that are written down, and his commitment to seeking deeper understanding really serves as a lesson to us in our way that we should approach Torah. Maybe it's not just enough to look at things at face value, but to go deeper into the text to see what's really the underlying. Maybe that's what he brought. Also, him and Rabbi Shimon, of course, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who we're going to celebrate very shortly in a few days' time. Monday night, Bezat Hashem. But really, that's what it is. It's going one step further. And again, maybe with that and the lessons and the kindness and the compassion that he showed, we could be zocheh to beracha, levacha, tzlacha, yeshua v'nechamot to us, our family, Amen. And our loved ones. Amen. Ken Yiratzon. Have a wonderful day.